And I want us to start with a word of prayer from our standing orders. Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and a faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen. I just want to request our nominee, who has just taken a seat, to confirm to this committee and to the general public that she is indeed the person who was nominated, and the same person who has presented herself for this public hearing.
I confirm myself to tourism, culture and heritage.
I think the mic is not working.
Yeah. I confirm myself as the nominee of tourism, culture and heritage.
Perfect. Thank you. Now we want to proceed. The nominee can now take oath, assisted by our counsel.
I, AMONI, ARUS, TRIZA, do swear by the Almighty God that everything that I shall say in this approval hearing shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you so much. I think as she continues with other procedures as guided by the legal counsel, we can proceed with introductions. I begin by introducing myself. I'm Honorable Anaklet Lemuya. I'm the MCA for Lobey Kotaruk Ward in Loima Sub-County, and I'm also the chairperson of the Tourism, Culture and Heritage Committee, this committee that is facilitating this public hearing today. So I want to welcome the other committee members, starting from my right, to introduce themselves.
That's well, Kobomin, member of this committee.
Honorable Dr. Sebusi Lokale, member of this committee.
Michael Galan, member of the committee, MCA election.
Honorable Chair, I am Lomodo Lokale Samuel, the MCA for Lokichar Ward. I'm a member to the Committee of Tourism, Culture, Community Services, and I also double up as the leader of government business or the leader of minority. And I want to welcome the nominee. Feel free, and everything is going to be okay. Thank you. Honorable Jacinta, can you introduce yourself?
Honorable Jacinta Abelu, Vice Chair.
Good. I think we can proceed now. Once again, good morning, honorable members and members members of the public. Oh, sorry, I think there's a group that we've left out who need to also introduce themselves. I would want to invite the lead clerk to introduce the members of the secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Yonopeka Kaipol, Committee Lead Clerk. Last year, Kenneth Lorot, Answer Editor, Naira Ambui, Principal ICT, Mark McKellen, Media and Public Relations, Greg Hospital, Research Officer, Bidat Ekale, ICT Intern, Mary Akai, Public Relations, Justice Adore, Computer Centers, and Millicent Ekale, the Legal Counsel.
Thank you. Honorable members, I wish to welcome all members of the Committee on Tourism, Culture and Community Services, members of the public, and the County Chief Officer nominee for Tourism, Culture and Heritage. Honorable members, the position of a Chief Officer is part of the executive appointments contemplated in Section 45 of County Governments Act No. 17 of 2012, and the County Assembly is therefore mandated to vet and approve their appointment to their respective portfolios. Honorable members, as you are aware, we have a nominee in the portfolio of Tourism, Culture and Heritage. The vetting process is approximated to take at most 1 hour or less. According to the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, Section 5.1, the nominee was notified to appear before the relevant sectoral committee of the County Assembly. In this regard, Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, Section 6.2, the clerk of the County Assembly gave out the notification of nomination on the Friday, 7th April 2023 on the Daily Nation newspaper. Section 7.4, the clerk notified the candidate of the time and place for holding the approval hearing. Honorable members, according to Section 16 of Ethics and Integrity Act, read together with the County Assembly of Turkana Standing Order 101, any member who is likely to be conflicted has to declare the nature of interest, whether fiduciary, personal, proprietary, close family members, or pecuniary. A member who wishes to speak on any matter in which the member has a personal interest shall first declare that interest, and the member will neither score nor ask the nominee a question, and will remain silent or opt out of the vetting venue. These proceedings are open to the members of the public, and they are live on HME Radio FM, County Assembly official Facebook page, and YouTube channel. Similarly, I would like to draw the attention of the members of the public that during the vetting process, they are required to maintain silence, put phones off or in silent mode, and there shall be minimal or no movement that are likely to distract the committee or nominee. The sergeant at arms are under strict instructions to eject any person who flouts these orders. I want to make a plea to the nominee to make the shortest amount of time to complete the tasks at hand. Be precise and to the point when responding to questions from honorable members. I thank you. Myself, Honorable Anaclet Lemuya, Chairperson Committee on Tourism, Culture and Community Services, County Assembly of Turkana. Having said that, honorable members and members of the public, I would want to ask if there is anyone who feels like he or she is conflicted for one reason or another. You feel like you're not going to participate in this exercise. If you are conflicted, you have a relationship with the nominee, your friends, your family friends, you're related by blood. Is there such a kind of a person in our midst? Yes. We have the MCA for Nanam Ward, who is also the Deputy Speaker. I think by virtue of being the MCA of the nominee, and unless there's any other relationship. Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I am Honorable Philip Ekwa, MCA Nanam Ward, Deputy Speaker. I'm interested party. I'm only here as an observer.
Thank you.
Ask a question or do anything beyond that.
Welcome, Mheshimiwa. Someone who feels he or she is conflicted? Sorry. Good. I think the Honorable Member for Nanam Ward has clearly stated he won't ask any question, so he's just here to observe. But the rest of us are going to participate in this process. Having said that, I want to say that we need to observe everything that I've said. There are instructions that I've given in my remarks. You are not supposed to make any unnecessary movements. You are not supposed to make noise. So you just watch in silence. And I want to say that all of us, members of the public, are welcome into this assembly. Feel at home and enjoy the process. It will be free and fair, and we want to do what we call justice. We want to do justice. For our nominee, you feel welcome. Compose yourself, don't tense, relax. This is just an ordinary interview. And at the end, if you present yourself well, present your ideas, ask questions, and or rather answer questions as expected, I think we will not have any problem giving you what you deserve. So feel welcome. Having said that, I think we now start the vetting process, and the questionnaire is segregated into portions. We have introductory questions, we have technical questions, we have integrity questions, we have general and operational questions. I will take you through the introductory questions, and then the technical questions will have Honorable Bethwell, Honorable Lomodo taking you through. Integrity question will be done by Honorable Jacinta, and then general questions will be done by Honorable Dorcas. So that is the structure of our public hearing. Right away, I would want to delve into the introductory questions. Maybe before that, I think you introduced yourself during when you are taking order, and all of us now know the candidates. So we know her name. She's called TRIZA AMONI. So TRIZA, I want to ask you to kindly tell us about yourself. Tell us about yourself. You don't have to limit yourself to academic qualifications or competencies, skills, and work experience. Just tell us generally about yourself, including your academic qualifications, competencies, skills, and work experience. There is a notebook there provided for you and a pen. So kindly be jotting down the questions or what we are asking so that you. And also, I would like the documents passed through so that the honorable members can go through. The second question, I hope you've gotten the first question. The second question is about your financial net worth. Financial net worth. That is your income sources, both current and deferred. With that we mean how rich or poor are you? Yeah. The third question, how do your skills and competencies fit into the position you have been nominated for? How do your skills and your competencies fit into the position you've been nominated for? In other words, we are saying, do you understand the department into which you've been nominated? Do you understand the work of that department? And if you do understand, then do you feel like your skills and experiences and your competencies qualify you for that position, so that you can be able to effectively serve in that department? So those are the questions. Kindly proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today. As earlier stated, my name is AMONI, ARUS TRIZA. I'm from Turkana West Sub-County, a resident of Nanam Ward, Kakrochuko. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and a legal associate at the firm of Okul, Fossa and Partners Advocate. In terms of educational background, I started my primary education at St. Cosmas Nakopomoit Primary School in 2003 up to 2010 for my Kenya Certificate of Primary Education. I later on went to Turkana Girls National School in 2011 to 2014 for my Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. I later proceeded to Catholic University of East Africa School of Law in 2015 to 2018, where I undertook my Bachelor of Degree in Law. After that, I proceeded to Kenya School of Law in 2020 to 2021 for my postgraduate diploma in law. In terms of experience and the works that I've done, I'm currently serving as an RSD officer at the Department of Refugee Services under the Ministry of Government Services, which is a partner agency of UNHCR. As an RSD officer, I perform the following roles. I develop a strategic plan for all RSD action to be undertaken within the project period. I update cases on progress. I conduct interviews for all asylum seekers within the legal frameworks and procedures set. I also do research on country of origin information, legal issues related to the asylum applicant claim. I also do assessment. I also gather material claim in determining the material claim in determining the asylum application. I also implement and develop RSD strategic plan, including study operation procedures, which are the CPOs, and also I do case management strategy to ensure that RSD is fully and effectively integrated into government procedures. I also do counseling for all RSD applicants, or asylum seekers who have received negative decisions. I take them through the counseling sessions and refer them to necessary.
Sorry for cutting you short.
Yeah.
You've really gone into pretty a lot of details. I proceed with the issue of financial network.
Okay. So, thank you. So, on the issue of network, I have a total network of around 5 million to 7 million. This network I draw from salary payment from the work that I'm doing as an RSD officer with the Department of Refugee Services. I draw my income also from business, where I operate an executive beauty spa in Kakuma. I also have a shop that I sell clothes and other beauty cosmetics. I also draw my income from this household activities. I've also a few rentals that are still ongoing, and then I have a few plots, 2 here in Lodwa, one in Kakuma, another one in Nana. I have a vehicle, a Toyota Kluger. I'm anticipating for payments of my gratitude period because I've also worked with the Office of the Senate under Parliamentary Service Commission. So I'm anticipating a gratitude payment of around 536,000. Also some benefits from SACCOs because I'm a member of Kimusiku SACCO. And also anticipation of future benefits from my pensions. So that is my network. On the issue of how my skills and competence has prepared me for this role, I would say that coming from the legal background, my education has not only focused on learning the fundamentals of law, but also the practical aspect of it. My education has prepared me for a smooth transition from school to work, and it has also given me skills necessary to succeed in my career and also prepared me for my legal professional career. While I've done many consultancy and coming from the legal background, I would say that I'm best suited for this role because coming from the legal background, I understand that the Department of Tourism, Culture and Heritage requires some implementation of a few things. One I can mention, at the moment we don't have the tourism, local Turkana Local Tourism Act. Coming from the legal background and being one of the concerned parties, I will, with the help of the members of the County Assembly and the Office of the County Attorney, I will help in coming up with proposals and also on what we need to capture on that act, because we need to capture the Turkana culture from the African perspective.
Sorry, can we have the technical persons address the problems here with the mics? Proceed.
Another thing, so another issue that I will address is the issue us through our cultural ways of life. Another thing that I will do is the issue of coming up with regulations and policies on protecting our indigenous knowledge, culture, the issue also of protecting our indigenous medical herbal medicines, and also the issue of trying to protect our culture, because we need to have regulations to in case foreign investors come and try to document our culture, we need to have rules and regulations to guide them on the aspects of it, and also we need to give them guidelines that we don't want you editing our culture, or we don't want you representing a modernized culture. We want our original way of life, the original Turkana culture, to be reflected. We also, because we have a very rich culture, we also need to document the issue of trying to our original Turkana culture, like the issue of our attires, the issue of our original shoes that we used to make currently we are making from motor vehicle tires. So, and then also our assets, the traditional assets. We also need to document on that and come with guidelines and regulations.
Thank you, TRIZA. The volume has gone down. Thank you, TRIZA. I think you can proceed to the next. Now I want to invite Honorable Bedwell to take us through this portion of questions on technical questions. Welcome.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman, TRIZA, good morning.
Morning.
I don't think you are looking at me because of this gentleman.
Maybe you can stand.
Let me just. I have about 3 questions I wanted you to address. One is the experience on tourism industry and how you plan to use it, the experience you are asking to develop tourism in Turkana County. That's question 1. Question 2 is understanding of tourism sector potential in Turkana County, and what measures do you have in plan to take to fully exploit it? Number 3, I have part A and part B, which is tourism sector in Turkana County has in the recent past performed decimally. What strategies do you have in place to attract investors and tourism to the county and increase revenue generation in Turkana in this tourism sector? Part B, how do you plan to collaborate with private sector and other stakeholders in tourism industry to achieve the county tourism goals? Honorable Chairman, those are some set of questions I wanted the nominee to respond to.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you for those questions. The first question you asked how my experience can come into in this respective role that I've been nominated for. As I expected, coming from the legal background, and I would say that my experience in this position is a few that I've stated on the issue of legal framework establishment. I would say that my legal experience will come in there, helping coming up with a few regulatory frameworks, the issue of the Local Tourism Act, the issue of the Council of Elders Act, issue of regulations and some policies to guide on the aspect of our cultural way of life and also try to protect our culture from being westernized. I would also say that my experience will also try to come because a vast experience in managing relations with stakeholders and also providing overall leadership over day-to-day organizational and departmental functions, conflict resolution because I'm also an arbitrator, I'm a litigant and a legal researcher. And I would say that coming from the legal background and being an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, I'll play a key role both from the legal perspective and also from the administration side. From the legal perspective, when a need arises or in forums or avenues that would require my legal expertise in the respective department, I'll be the best person to represent either the county government of Turkana in a court of law or in other avenues that may require my legal expertise or in those international forums. Another thing I would say is on the issue of arbitration or trying to bring, in case of a conflict emerges in such situation, because I'm an arbitrator, I can also play a key role in trying to resolve the conflict. Another thing I will add on the same, that my experience will come in is about the factor of promotion, which I will want to address extensively on the second question, where you stated on measures that I will undertake to promote the aspect of tourism, culture and heritage in this county. So on the second question, a few things, we all understand that tourism is one of the first and world largest industry, and its importance in economic development is well acknowledged. And being one of the concerned parties, it's high point that we need to come up with a new level of strategy and also try to how we can harness this rich culture and try to see how we can use it to also help us in drawing revenue from international institutions to also help us generate revenue. A few things that I will do is the issue of ensuring there is the aggressive tourism marketing strategy. Aggressive marketing tourism strategy, one of them I would say the issue of creation of Turkana County website, tourism website, which will be operational. We will try to download things. We will take very good and appealing pictures and also create forums where we will try to sell our products in those portals. Another thing is constant TV broadcasting, campaigns and programs on tourism activities in Turkana. Also bring in the issue of advertisement of tourism activities in Turkana. Also bring the issue of posters, reading related tourism activity in Turkana. We can have leaflets, with the help of other stakeholders, also other county departments. We will try to supply these leaflets and try to bring a clear outline of what tourism entails in Turkana County. Another thing I will do or measure to promote tourism is the issue of trying to grow domestic tourism. By trying to promote domestic tourism is we'll try to ensure that there is affordable and accessible travel and tourism opportunity by unlocking school-based tourism, targeting chamas and cooperatives.
One side, the TRIZA, proceed to the next question.
Okay. On the last question, on that question, which is divided into two sections, A and B. A, it was on the issue of reforms that I will come up with in order to also help the issue of revenue generation. So I have a few reforms that I will need to come up with. One reform is the first thing we need to do is to ensure promotion, protection, and preserving of our both cultural sites and heritage sites. Cultural site, we need to get, our cultural site like the Nagio Kotome, the Turkana Boy Monument, and the cultural, the heritage site like Tobongore, Atana Yete, Logrema Pizza Code. We need to get them surveyed, make them operationalized, and also protect them for future utilization of our generation. And then another thing, I'll try, okay, there's already the issue of Ushanga initiative, but I'll try to initiate new programs to make our local women and men to draw an income out of the Ushanga initiative, where we will initiate programs that will bring experts to train them on new designs on how they can improve our products and try to make them more appealing to the public, and we can also help them try to get market in the national or international forums so that they can draw a revenue out of it. And then also the issue of documentation of our indigenous traditional culture, the issue of documentation of our indigenous medical hubs, the issue of documentation of. So we also factor that and also try to come up with programs where that we can get into. We can make that, when we document it, it means that we have a legal framework that will try to protect that. So that when such songs are being sung internationally, at least there is a law that identifies with that these songs or this culture or this specific about medicines belongs to the people. So we will try to claim a different out of it. We can also patent some aspects. Another thing is on the issue of how to bring in other sectors to help us. I'll get into partnership with local NGOs, both national and at the county level, that have shown interest in tourism and also wildlife conservation. We invited them for seminars, conferences, to try to see how we can try to promote tourism in this county. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you so much, TRIZA. I think Betel is done with this portion of questions. I would want to now invite Honorable Omoto to take us through.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I want to refer to the questionnaire that was filled by the nominee. If we go to questionnaire number 3 on honors and awards, there is the last part where the nominee told us that in September 2022 she was working with the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex persons in the, is it first or fifth?
Honorable Member, I think it's not working with, she undertook a training. She undertook an e-learning training.
But what I can read, Honorable Chair, I can read, she wrote working.
I get what you are saying. The training is working with the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex persons.
Yes.
Working with.
Yes.
It is not how I was working.
Working with.
That is the title of the course she did.
Yes.
Working with.
Good.
Yeah.
That is LGBTI with the UN e-learning. So that was the short course that you took. Now you're going to be nominated. That is once this committee retreats, is going to either approve or reject your nomination as the Chief Officer for Tourism, Culture, and Community Services. How will you? My question is: recently the Supreme Court said that LGBTQ is allowed in Kenya, and in the Turkana culture does not allow LGBTQ. How are you going to address this issue of LGBTQ with the Turkana culture? Now that you had enough knowledge in regard to the matter of LGBTQ, that is one part of the question. But on the side of the technical question, Turkana County government has heavily invested in the construction of ecologies. I think you're so much aware of the ecologies that we have in Turkana, which have stalled for many years. What measures do you plan to put in place to ensure that tourism-related infrastructure, such as hotels and tourist sites, are completed, well-maintained, and of high quality? The question is the measures that you put. Second part of the question is, what is your plan to leverage technology and innovation to attract tourists in Turkana County and to improve the experience of tourists in the county? I think I'm not so fast. Since devolution, this department has not introduced any legislation before the County Assembly for consideration. What policy proposals will you recommend to help the department achieve its vision, having enough knowledge on law and being an advocate of the High Court? Honorable Chair, those are the few questions I wanted to ask the nominee.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. On the first question, with regards to on our with LGBT. Being an RSD officer, part of the role is LGBTQ people come to Kakuma as asylum seekers. And as an RSD officer, I'm the one to take them through the interviewing and also to establish the legal issues related to their flight. That's why I was taken through a training of working with them to clarify on that. On the issue, we try to handle the issue of LGBTQ in Turkana, taking into consideration that such a culture is not tolerated in Turkana. We understand that in the recent past, a judgment was passed, but at the point we stand in as Kenya or as a nation, we don't have any legal framework that is making the issue in Kenya. So at this point, we are limited. But in the future discussions, where because discussion that is being discussed worldwide, I know that these are a few of the, of course, it's also a factor that we are trying UNHCR to try on how to try to help these people. But at the moment, we don't have any legal framework protecting such people. So because it's a foreign factor in Kenya, and it's also a foreign factor here in Turkana. So even with the cases that I do with UN, we don't process their cases. We just listen to them and guide them and counsel them. But there is no any legal framework to protect them. So to translate the same here in this role that I've been appointed, I've been nominated for, I know I will encounter such situation in the near future. Because at the moment I would say that this is a limited conversation because there is no any legal framework even to discuss or to bring arguments for us to discuss such a matter. And then on the second question, on the issue of stored ecologies or incomplete ecologies, I understand that there are two ecologies here in Turkana, one at Kalokon and the other one at Kainuk. There are a few observations that I made on the issue of these incomplete ecologies. Some of the key factors that have frustrated the whole process of an ecology in Kainuk is the aspect of insecurity. We all understand that at the moment we are experiencing insecurity issues, which are beyond our control, and it's also beyond my control as the nominee. But there are measures that we'll put in place.
Honorable Chair, yes. Just to confirm from the nominee, you said we've got two ecologists, one in Kainuk,
And the other one at Kalabon.
I think the other one, is it in Kalabon or Katabon?
Katabon, near Lokanga.
Of course.
Yeah.
We haven't answered.
Yeah.
That is why I want you to put it here.
Yeah.
Proceed.
So, I'll say that what focus, just to be honest, is that I'll put more focus on the ecology in Katabon because there are so many factors surrounding that ecology that would bear good fruits. The issue of our beautiful beaches surrounding the ecology, beautiful scenery, the issue of the lake, and also taking into consideration that insecurity is not an issue in Katabon. So more focus, I think, at the moment we put at the ecology in Katabon to make it operational. At the moment, if the project is not incomplete because there's some, the contractors are not completed, technical reports, I will rely on technical reports from public works. So in the second...
Sorry, TRIZA, for cutting you short.
Yeah.
Kindly delve into the question because the question requires that you give us the measures. What measures are you going to put in place to ensure that these ecologies are completed and are well maintained?
That's
give us the measures.
Yes, Honorable Chair, that's where I was going. So, first I've declared my interest that at the moment we'll focus on the ecology and Katabon because I stated there are few factors that I say. One measure is upon completion of the project because it's still incomplete at the moment that we will be now given the mandate to now operationalize the ecology. One thing is we need to do a stakeholder engagement where we do a public participation. We invite all the parties that will have a stake in welcome the host communities. We also invite members of the county assembly and the public and try to sit down on what best approaches we can put in place so as to promote that ecology.
Kindly proceed to the next question, please.
Okay. Honorable Chair, before I proceed to the next question, I had also the aspect of either we run it as the county or we can also lease it to a foreign investor so that we can generate some out of it. It will also result to job creation. And then on the second, on another question that was on the issue of technology, how we can use technology to promote tourism. As earlier stated, I mentioned portal or a website where we'll try to make it operational and also be making sales through that portal. We'll download our assets, the Turkana, the original Turkana culture, and also the creation of a Facebook handle. We can also create Instagram handles and also create Twitter handle with the hashtag Tembea Turkana.
Perfect. Proceed to the next question.
On another question on the issue of what policies or taking into consideration that the department has not submitted any legal framework to guide. Coming from the legal background, that's why I earlier mentioned that I'm best suited for this department because there are many, at the moment we just have at the national level the Tourism and Wildlife Act, but at the county level, because we have different aspects, we have the Turkana way of life that we have to capture. So one thing I say is the establishment of Turkana County, the Turkana County Tourism Act, to capture on the specific aspect of Turkana culture, the issue of establishment of the Council of Elders Act, because the national act is just a general document. It's not focused on our specific way of life, or it's not focused on capturing the African perspective. And then other proposals I'll make, I mentioned the issue of some laws or regulatory framework on trying to protect our culture, our indigenous crops, our indigenous medical herbs, and also our cultural ways of life and products.
Thank you so much. That's well answered.
Chair. Just to inform the nominee, recently we were in Kainu for a burial, and we met with the in charge of the current operations that are ongoing in Kainu. It is an intelligence-based operation, and as a leadership, we agreed that the ecology is going to be one of the operation area. Now the ecology is safe at the moment. We have the KDF using the ecology, so you can use that opportunity to push for the contractor to go and do work because the KDF is already in that ecology.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'll take that into consideration.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member, for bringing that up. And, if TRIZA will be lucky, then she's going to implement that. I want to invite Honorable Iken to take us through the other portion of questions.
The chairman. First, Ken, my name is Honorable James Ken, MCA Canal to the World. Father, I want to thank you for having been nominated as the Chief Officer, Tourism, Culture and Heritage. My question is, I want to ask one question for you. Turkana Annual Cultural Festival, formerly known as Tobongre, is a renowned celebrated event in Turkana County Government. And as a local resident of Turkana County and a concerned party, what significance does this cultural event add to the county government of Turkana? Secondly, what are the social and economical impacts of the festival to the people of Turkana County?
I don't know the last.
What are the social and economical impacts does this festival bring to the people of Turkana County?
Honorable, kindly proceed also with question number 8.
Question number 8. Madam TRIZA, in the 4th session of UNESCO World Heritage Committee meeting held in Turkey, a report of the status of Turkana National Park was reported as a regret, and request by committee to Kenya and Ethiopia government was to urge them to work towards maintaining this area, that is the Turkana National Park, as the area of outstanding universal value. What will you work with the local community to promote preservations of cultural heritage and ensure benefit for heritage tourism is utilized by the community? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable
TRIZA, are you
Chair.
clear with that question?
Yes.
Excellent. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. On the issue of annual cultural festival, that is Tobongore, on its importance. Being a cultural event, I'll say that Tobongore promotes cross-cultural interaction, to draw revenue out of it. It has also opened infrastructure into those cultural sites. At the moment, if you look at roads heading to Tobongore, they're good infrastructure, and all that is because of the establishment of that cultural site there. And also, it has also brought the aspect of host community empowerment, because when we celebrate such events, we invite the local community also to come and trade their goods, also our women to come and trade their beads through the issue of Ishanga initiative. It has also helped us to preserve our culture, because at that event, Turkana culture is extensively celebrated and it's also being exposed to international forums. Another thing that we can say that Tobongore with is the issue of I think also exposure. There's that exposure, because Tobongore it's an event that is known internationally. So at the moment, you can just the other day when I was just moving around, I got friends from international world asking me, when are you celebrating that event that you normally celebrate in your home country? So it's an aspect that Tobongore has given us a certain form of exposure to the international forums. On the second question on social economic impact of this event, of course there is that social interaction, because the events try to bring members, different community members, the article community members, and we also invite people from international forums. Also nationally, there are many tribes that normally attend that event. They show also cross-cultural interaction that the events also try to promote. On the issue of UNESCO stating that...
Sorry, let me cut you short, TRIZA. You've delved so much into the social aspect. I haven't heard you mention anything on economic.
On the economic aspect, I mentioned on the importance, where I say that we try to invite, there's a lot of trading that normally also happens at Tobongore. So out of trading that where our local community, we also attract members from other neighboring countries like Uganda, Ethiopia. They normally come with their goods to sell at Tobongore, and out of that we draw a lot of revenue for that, and it also helps us increase.
Perfect. Proceed.
Okay, now I go on the question of UNESCO. We understand that Turkana leg has been deteriorating because of a few factors on the issue that there's not been focus on trying to maintain the leg. So on the issue of bringing in community, I think I will do mass education awareness on trying to educate and enlighten the local community on the importance of protecting these resources, the importance of not polluting the lake, and also we'll be doing public participation where we'll invite different stakeholders. We also invite the host communities, and also members of the assembly to try to come up with the best approaches on how we can best try to preserve and protect our lake. And we also enlighten our community on the importance of protecting these resources and what is their role in protecting these resources or trying and doing environmental conservation, because through that public participation, they will feel that they have a key role to play, and they will also feel a sense of belonging.
Thank you so much. That's well said. I would want now to invite. Yes.
A follow-up question. You haven't mentioned anything on revenue. These are very important events in Turkana County. What measures or policies are you going to put in place to ensure that all revenue collection that are collected from this event is being
Sorry, Honorable Ike, I think we will have supplementary questions after we are done with these questions. We'll come back on that, Honorable Member. Let me invite Honorable Jacinta.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Let me ask TRIZA one question about integrity. Corruption is a pandemic in Kenya, and it is a pandemic in Turkana County. In what forum does corruption manifest in? How will you ensure that there is proper utilization of public funds in your?
Yeah, I think the question is very clear. It's about corruption. All of us know corruption is a disease, it's a monster that's not only local but also global, and it permeates into every sector of society. So, how does it manifest in Turkana? Yeah, and how will you ensure that there's proper utilization of public funds in your department? Proceed.
Thank you. We all understand that corruption is a monster in Kenya now, and it affects every single department, even down to the county levels. So how does it manifest? Is if all goes well and I'm approved, I know I will encounter, because on the issue of, I understand that the department that their contracts allocation factors, and I understand that sometimes that's where corruption might come in because of those allocations. Such factors may influence the whole process or may try to facilitate the whole process. So, being an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, I try to uphold the rule of law, and I'm always very the Constitution of Kenya, more specific Article 73 and 73.2 on leadership and integrity. I understand that the Constitution is more specific. It has outlined on the specific frameworks that guides us all the way. If you look at Article 73 on the leadership, leadership, where state officers they're required to protect the object and the purpose of the Constitution. They need to promote public confidence. They need to bring honor to the nation. They also need to bring integrity in the office. If you go down to Article 73.2 on the guiding principles of leadership, the issue of selection on the basis of suitability, competence, and personal integrity. If you look at on the issue of impartiality, objectivity, and always trying not to engage in favorism, nepotism, or corrupt motives, or corrupt practices, or improper motives.
TRIZA, I'm sorry for cutting you short. Kindly go right into the question that you've asked. Give us the in what forms does corruption manifest? In what forms does corruption manifest in this county?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I was trying to come to that point, just trying to bring that background where I'm coming from. So, as I stated, I understand that key points or indicators where mostly corruption manifests in this allocation, where we, because of this manifestation, that's why why we're trying to come up with the legal framework. We always try not to follow the legal frameworks. We try not to follow the procurement procedures we skip, or we try to use our position to influence the whole process. So that's why I said, coming from the legal background, I'm under oath, and I understand that I need to protect my integrity as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. So my allegiance is to the Constitution. My allegiance is to serve the people and not to rule them. So I will at all costs try to avoid such improper or corrupt practices.
Thank you. Thank you very much, TRIZA. I think we can proceed to the next question. We want to invite Dorcas. Mheshimiwa Dorcas. Welcome.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for giving me this opportunity to ask our daughter, AMONI, ARUS. I welcome you to this Turkana County Assembly. I have only 3 simple questions to ask you. I would like you to be free to answer these questions. Question number 1. The role of County Assembly is to present, legislate, and oversight. What functions do you think the County Assembly can oversight in your department? If at all this committee recommendation you approve. Are you okay?
Yes.
The second one. What aspects of Turkana culture do you think are important for preservation? Do culture contribute to tourism in the first place?
Honorable Chair, I want to confirm.
Yes.
I think you said it very clear that any member who has interest should declare. I want to confirm with the Honorable Dorcas. She has said that our daughter or our daughter. Is it, can Honorable Dorcas confirm that the nominee is her daughter? And if so she cannot ask her daughter questions.
Honorable Dorcas, can you clarify?
I don't mean that she's my daughter, but she's the daughter of this soil of Turkana County. Okay?
Perfectly said, and also given the date of birth. I think Honorable Dorcas has a copy of the ID of TRIZA, and going by the date of birth, TRIZA qualifies to be her daughter.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to proceed with the third question. What signatures can you tell this committee you can borrow from the how national government market tourism abroad? Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will get that.
TRIZA, are you clear with the questions?
Yes.
Kindly proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Member. On the first, the roles that the County Assembly will play in that respect in the Department of Tourism, Culture and Heritage. We all understand that the County Assembly is the legislative arm of government. Of course, earlier mentioned, there are few frameworks that I mentioned that we need the help of the County Assembly. So that I don't repeat myself because of the issue of time, the issue of the Tourism Act, the Council of Elders Act, the issue of documentation and trying to come up with policies and regulations to try to protect our cultural ways of life, assets and indigenous medical hubs. So the key stakeholder that will play a key role in these particular policies that I've mentioned is the County Assembly. Without the help of the County Assembly and also the County Attorney, will not be able to achieve that. On the second question on what cultural aspects that need to be preserved, earlier I mentioned the issue of promotion, protection, and preservation of our cultural sites. That is the Turkana Boy Monument, Navio Kotome, and also I mentioned a few heritage sites, Morua Nayete, also the factor of Tobongore, Logriama Pizza Code. All these cultural sites and heritage sites need to be surveyed, fenced, and operationalized. And then another aspect that need to be protected is our culture, the Turkana people culture. We need to protect our culture. Another aspect that we need to protect is the original Turkana people attire, all the way from our airstates. Now there is a new aspect. Some individuals are claiming that they're the original creators of the Mohawk. Mohawk is the original hairstyle of the Turkana people. So we also need to protect that aspect. Also our traditional attire. There is a little modernization that is being made to our modern attires, where now we are using clothes to try to bring that. But we need first to protect that. We need to preserve that culture. That's why we say we need to have some guidelines and regulations that whenever you are also like trying to redesign, because we are also trying to add some value to our original culture, we have to have policies or regulations that we should not or spoil the old original aspect of the Turkana culture. Another thing we have to protect, of course, is our indigenous crops. Also the issue of herbal medicines. We also need to preserve that. How to market tourism abroad? I mentioned a few things. The creation of tourism website portal. It will be one of the factors to help us. I also try to seek a partnership with both local NGOs and international NGOs that have shown interest in tourism and wildlife conservation. I'll also be playing a key role in trying to expose Turkana culture in all the tourism travels or avenues that I'll be attending. I'll be in those exhibitions. I'll be trying to portray the Turkana culture in my dress code or even in my way of interacting with such people. Also, of course, the issue of leaflets and posters, reading tourism-related messages is also another aspect of exposing our culture to the international world. The issue of advertisement, the issue of radio talks, TV broadcasting, all those aspects I will take into consideration.
Thank you so much, TRIZA. Appreciate you for answering all the questions that we put to you. Right now, I want to ask honorable members if there's any honorable member who has a supplementary question. Kama uko na swali la ningependa kuuliza TRIZA, I will allow up to 3 questions. Honorable Omodo.
Now, I think the chair, mine is on the appointing authority. When you've been appointed, the appointing authority is His Excellency the Governor. And you'll be working for an account once you've been approved. There are business opportunities that normally arise from the department which you will be nominated to serve. How are you going to balance the interest of probably the appointing authority? When the appointing authority tells you that tender Y should be given to contractor X, or in that case, there has been open tender process and any other contractor within Turkana County gets the opportunity to win the contract. How do you balance the interest of your appointing authority and that contractor who has won the tender successfully?
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for that good question. On the issue of interest, I've declared as being the advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and I strive to uphold the rule of law at all times. So, on the issue of conflict of interest, I understand that there are legal frameworks that guides us. We have the procurement procedures that guide all this aspect of tender allocation. In the circumstance that there is a political interest that it's trying to supersede or come in conflict with the public interest, as an officer of the court, I have the mandate to protect the rule of law. To protect the rule of law is to abide by Article 75, where you need to avoid a conflict of interest between personal or political interest with public interest, and also I have to try not to compromise public interest in favor of political or private interest.
Any other supplementary question? Yes, Bevan?
Yeah, I wanted to just make a very short supplementary question. TRIZA, you are from the area all of us come from, and you know Nanan and part of Lotlate and part of Lorenet are areas frequented by wildlife. We tried, I think in the first assembly or first and second government to do some establishment of game reserve at Nana, and there was a bit of resistance by our people. You know why I'm saying by our people, and wanted not to this game reserve to be established. Now, animals are wandering all over. So this all over the place, and they have really been killed by a lot of poachers from South Sudan and probably our people. If it happens one time, you just make a take a publicity to an area, Nasimiono for example, you will trap many people. The meat of these animals or products is taken to a market in Kakuma. Kakuma is the beneficiary of all these animals that are killed at around the Tikipi region. And now, having come from, let me say that it's not normally important for us to mention it, but having come from Nana, do you think, if given the opportunity to work as a chief officer in charge of this department, what will you do since it's been a struggle between our people back at home and then the county government and the Department of Wildlife here in Loga? You think there is anything that you will succeed this time because you are the owner of the soil?
Thank you, Honorable Member, for that question. I understand that there is a very good wildlife in Nanan, and I know there's been a little resistance because there's some aspects of procedures that we have not tried to follow. This is because, when we don't have a legal framework guiding us, we just operate on a lacuna. So I had mentioned the issue of community participation in this aspect. So, and also the issue of mass education. First, I need to do a mass education of trying to enlighten the community or the Nana people community on the importance of this wildlife. One importance is that if we try to conserve this wildlife, we will be able to create jobs, we'll be able to generate revenue out of that wildlife. So first is to do that awareness education on the importance of that wildlife. And then the second aspect is the participation of the people around those areas by trying to enlighten them and also making them aware of the key roles that they need to play in order to promote or preserve that wildlife. And then after making them now understanding, then I will have to follow with wildlife, with the Ministry of Tourism, and wildlife, and I will invite them. We go and assess the area, and now from there, we can also, all along, there will be that public participation. Any forum that will be attending there will be inviting the people as we follow up with the wildlife department to try on how we can operationalize that area, fence it, survey it, and make it operational.
Thank you, TRIZA. The honorable member is contented and satisfied with your answer. Finally, Honorable Iken, you wanted to ask a supplementary question. I don't know if he still wants to ask the question.
Mr. Chairman, mine was on the revenue aspect, whereby I was asking what policies or measures you are going to put to ensure that all revenue collected from Tobongore can be accounted for by your ministry.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Chair. Okay, I think I've had a mention on how we are able to to raise revenue in that in those events. So on how we can collect revenue, of course, normally there are stalls that we have in that in Tobongore Cultural Center. During the event, I understand that the department usually tries to rent those stalls to generate revenue out of it. And then also there is the issue of Ushanga Initiative. Ushanga Initiative, it's a national initiative which has been they try to bring it into the county in order to bring women also to try to empower them by getting them into cooperatives, because that's also another role that I need. I need to get women into cooperatives and see how they can benefit from this Ushanga Initiative project. So on how we can collect revenue first, there is the issue of stalls at the center. We normally collect the revenue from that, and then there's the issue of our cultural assets being sold there. Ushanga Initiative, they are normally given as a project. They normally give them a project, they make those assets, and then now we help them try to sell. So from that, we have the county. We have the county account that we normally, I think we have to create a payee or a tourism department account. But with the legal framework, it's usually that the Ministry of Trade who are mandated to operate that. But first, we will create an account or a payee so that any revenue that is being collected, it has to be deposited to the respective account.
Thank you so much, TRIZA. Let me invite Honorable Momodo for another question. Sorry, I think I was stood for some time. There's an issue of establishment of conservancies in Turkana County. I want to bring to your attention that an investor by the name Northern Redlands Trust, NRT, came with the idea of establishing conservancies in the part of Turkana South, Turkana East. The same idea was stopped politically. Politics interfered with the idea of establishment of conservancies. And so the investor was told that he should vacate Turkana County. The same investor now has interest in coming back to Turkana County. And when that investor came to Turkana County, employment opportunities were given to our youths. The wardens were employed. Currently, as we are doing this vetting, the contracts for the 57 wardens has come to an end, and those 57 wardens are jobless. What plans will you put in place to ensure that conservancies are established in Turkana South, Turkana East, Loima,
and parts of Turkana West. Once you take the mantle of being the chief officer of tourism, culture, and community services.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Just a quick clarification. Where was the rejection coming from the political side or the community side?
The rejection came from the county government. The former governor did a letter telling the investor to go back.
Thank you.
So the investor now is requesting for the county government to do an official letter to bring it back.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for that good question. This is a new leadership, and if you try to go just a few factors to mention on what sometimes try to frustrate projects. Sometimes you can look at the aspect of leadership. So what I have to say, this is a different leadership. It's a new leadership that we have. I would say that I'll try to go that we'll have our good other ways that we cannot compare with former leadership, because these are two different leadership. So they are being approved and being the officer to help this. First, we need to call a meeting with all the stakeholders involved or with a stake in the outcome. When I mention stakeholder, we have to invite members of the county assembly, and also taking into consideration the member of the county assembly in that area. You will also be part of the stakeholders that we will invite for a meeting. We will invite the current leadership and also other stakeholders or experts in that field, and open a new discussion and see if we can see what are really the factors that the former leadership rejected this, and also try to see does the factors favor us in our current leadership, and then from there we can decide on the fate of the project after making consideration or taking keen consideration in our discussions.
Thank you so much, TRIZA. I think we are approaching the tail end of our public hearing. I think you can at least for now have a sigh of relief. It's really been
Thank you.
a moment of, let me not say torture. Anyway, it's been a good experience. Nice question. Finally, a nice question. I've seen your identity card. You were born on 3rd of November 1996, when I was sitting for my KCSE. And here you are, you've been nominated to be a chief officer. How are you going at that age? How are you going to handle older people in that department? Because don't you feel like they will look down upon you because of your age, and they will disrespect you, considering the nature of our community? They will come and say, now, what is this small girl telling me? Yeah. How are you going to handle it?
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for this good question. I know that has been the recent discussion in the public forum, but I will understand age is just a number. And as I sit in this chair, I sit as the advocate of the High Court of Kenya. So my age does not limit me from reaching my highest potential. So reaching my highest potential of becoming an advocate is just one factor, and also being nominated as Chief Officer Tourism and Culture. I would say that my age has never limited me in my education, and also in search of job opportunities. My age cannot limit me, because it's just a factor, or it's just a number. That's what I can say. And then on the issue of how I will deal with people, the issue of intimidation, I'm a professional, and I've gone through extensive training on how to deal with people in terms of, I'm also an arbitrator. So I cannot, I cannot be intimidated because I know how to approach people, I know how to deal with people, I practice self-awareness on how to interact with people, so I know ways how to live with people. So these are just finished. Other people, being the daughter of the soil, these are actually at some point will be the key people to guide me in situations where they feel maybe I'll try to go out of the way. They should guide me as just their daughter if we try to go outside the world. But in office, I'm very qualified, I have all the experience, the knowledge, the skills that you are looking for, and I'm confident and passionate that I'm well fit for this role.
Thank you so much, TRIZA. In a few words, kindly tell us your final remarks. If there's anything you want to say, if there's a question you want to ask, kindly do so.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. It has really been a fantastic moment. I really enjoyed the interview. I thought I'd be under pressure because this is the first time I've appeared before an assembly. So it has been really a wonderful experience. And I say thank you for being, you have not been harsh, I can say, or you said, the chair mentioned that it's frustrating, or I don't know, like experience, but it has not been. I have experienced the whole vetting process, and I really thank you. The questions were really professionals, and it's a really good experience that I really appreciate for this opportunity that you have given me to hear also my views and also my expertise. And it has really been a wonderful moment. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, TRIZA. I would love to ask the Secretariat to maybe hand you over your documents if you have it. Please check if you have all your documents. Ensure your ID is there, your original ID.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. TRIZA has a lot of papers, so she actually has to confirm she has all the original documents. Thank you so much, TRIZA. Thank you for appearing before this committee, and thank you for taking your time to answer all the questions. And we believe that you've given your best, and this committee is going to retreat and consider you consider everything that you've said before this committee, and look at your academic qualifications, look at your experience, look at how you've articulated issues here, your communication skills. We look at all that, and then your marks, and we'll be sure to do justice, give you exactly what you deserve. Yeah, but by and large, you've done well, and we wish you all the best. You are now free to leave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the chair, the sergeant at arms, you can escort our TRIZA.